gentlemen, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Welcome back to my live stream, the Jacob Cast 2024. We're going to talk about WWE Monday Night Raw, March 10, 2025 review. We're going to talk about what happened on the show. We are live at Madison Square Garden. Um, and this will be like an hour. I made it like an hour and 10 minutes. My video is sponsored by PlayStation. It's sponsored by my favorite podcasters, Solomon the Sound Off, JD from New York, Just Alex, Fightful Pro Wrestling, Just Alex, and the other favorite podcasters. Monday Night Raw. We are going to talk about AEW, the AEW Revolution pay-per-view that was on last night. We will go through that.
So, this is going to be a...
Now we're going to talk about AEW. First, I want to get Monday Night Raw out the way first.
The best part of the entire show. I was left going, oh my God, a lot's happening right now. I love it. Again, I'm not too sure what kind of story they're going to tell with Paul Heyman and CM Punk, what this deal is, this favor that Paul owed. That's what it kind of feels.
Yeah.
And he was back in the cage. Only tonight he was in the cage with his arch nemesis. He was in the cage with CM. And they went out there. Now it's tough because we just had a cage match the other night, last night, in fact, 24 hours ago. We had a cage match at Revolution where they did everything that you could possibly do. And there was blood, and there was all kinds of gore, and there was all kinds of crazy stuff. And so now I have to sit here and watch a completely different kind of cage match. And it's a little jarring to go from one to the other because there might be some people comparing the two, but really two totally different beasts from, as far as what we saw last. When this match was announced last week, you had to know that this was going to set up the return of Roman Reigns. It was just too perfect. The reason that we didn't see Roman Reigns in the Elimination Chamber is because they didn't want to pin him. Can't be in the chamber unless he's going to win and not get pinned or beaten in some way. So they saved him from having to take a loss there in that match. And this was tailor-made for him to make a return and go after Seth Rollins after what Rollins did to him at the Royal Rumble. So these guys beat the hell out of each other. They kept kicking out of each other's finishing. I mean, the finisher spam in this main event, we get finisher spam all the time these days, but this was just beyond. But they're beating the hell out of each other. And sure enough, we didn't get the fancy entrance. We didn't get any of that. We got the return of Roman Reigns, who reaches into the cage and pulls Seth Rollins out of the cage to the floor, thus giving Seth Rollins the win. And then he proceeds to beat the hell out of Seth Rollins. And he gives him a stomp on the
floor. Now Seth Rollins won the match by disqualification. How is there a disqualification in steel cage match? I thought there's no rules. I thought you can use weapons. Well, you can't use weapons, but isn't it legal? Like, don't you use the cage as a weapon? Well, I don't know how the disqualification. Did that mean rope break count? I don't know. I had no one can interfere.
Floor. And he was going to give him a stomp on the stairs until Adam Pearce and everybody ran out to stop him. And the most intriguing part of this is that it didn't end there, because we see in the ring, in the cage, consoling CM Punk, checking up on his good friend, is Paul Heyman. And that brings Roman Reigns back into the cage, and Roman proceeds to lay a beat down on CM Punk for good measure. And we have the wise man, when the show is over, hands clasped together like this, looking as terrified as ever, as Roman Reigns throws up the ones. And that is how Monday Night Raw went off the air tonight. And so now we have our setup for what I think most of us imagined that this was going to end up being, which is going to be a triple threat match coming up at WrestleMania. There's going to be a lot of questions about the favor and does that come into play? I think it does, honestly. And while I would like to think that they have something a little more clever in mind for it, it would seem to me that what we may be in for is as early as next week. we may get the announcement of a WrestleMania match between Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins. And CM Punk may well use that favor from Paul Heyman to get himself worked into the match to make it a triple threat match at WrestleMania. Now, that would seem kind of lame, but I can see that being what the favor ultimately is used for, because it's clear as day now, all three of these men have issues with each other. Seth Rollins and CM Punk, they don't like each other. And the finish of the match tonight, Roman got involved, so we didn't even have a real clear-cut winner between the two of them, even though Rollins had the match won. So they still have beef. Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins have issues going back years, but at least going as far back as the Royal Rumble after what Seth did to him. This was his revenge tonight. Now Rollins is going to want to get his hands on Roman. So they have issues. Roman and Punk, after what we saw at the end of the show tonight, Punk's not going to let that stand. You think Punk is going to let that stand where Roman comes in and beats the shit out of him? He's going to be like, okay, I guess I had it coming. So now they all have issues with each other. Honestly, I don't even see the need for him to have to cash the favor in for that, because all he has to do is come out on TV and say, Roman Reigns, you got involved in my business. I want a piece of you at WrestleMania. And they can make a triple threat match that way. But that's what it kind of feels like to me, that the favor may come into play for that. What they did tonight was they set up not one, and neither of these are official yet. But what they did tonight was they set up not one, but two triple threat matches for WrestleMania. That one is very likely Roman, Rollins, and Punk. But on the women's side, a segment with Io Sky, Bianca Belair, and Rhea Ripley. Clearly going to set up a triple threat match for the Women's World Championship at WrestleMania. I'm not the biggest fan of them setting up two triple threat matches. I understand why they're likely going to end up doing it. I actually think at this point it's the right move to make. But had they taken to get to where they are now, we could have gotten some, pretty awesome singles matches on that show. Even if they did one of these as a triple threat, like, that would be fine. To do two of them, though, as triple threats, I don't know. I just feel like the stronger matches to do would have been Rhea and Bianca one-on-one, Roman and Punk one-on-one, which is a match that has never been done before, and people would be very excited to see that for the first time. Now, we'll get it at some point. SummerSlam or whatever. We'll get it at some point. We'll get Roman and Punk one-on-one, even if they, mix it up in a three-way WrestleMania. But those would have been the stronger matches to do. But where we are now, you almost have to do it this way. Because Io Sky, well, obviously Io Sky now is the champion, so she's going to be in the match no matter what. But even before she won the title, Io Sky was sort of the odd woman out. She had no other obvious role in the WrestleMania party. Io Sky is fucking awesome. But Io Sky is also over. And so she deserves to be in a prime position at WrestleMania, and now she is, because she's going to be the champion, as she was last year. She's going to be the champion going into the show.
Me and you.
So I'm happy for her, and she's going to make that match better. As great as the match would have been with Rhea and Bianca, you drop in Io Sky, and the quality of that match is not going to be good. Okay, let's put it that way. So you're going to get a better match out of it. On the men's side, like I just said, they have now established that all three of these men, Roman, Rollins, and Punk, they all have issues. They're all intertwined now. And also, you drop CM Punk into a match with Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns, it's not going to make the match worse. And it'll actually make the match more compelling because you have the Paul Heyman element, which I figured would be safe for a singles match, right? Paul's sort of in the middle. Now you got Rollins in there, but it's the same dynamic where you got Paul Heyman. Where does his allegiance lie? He's out there at WrestleMania, and Punk and Roman are in the ring together. Who's he rooting for? Right? He was consoling Punk at the end of the show tonight. He was more interested in making sure that CM Punk was okay, his friend. So at WrestleMania, as much as the drama will be around all three men, the drama will also involve Paul Heyman and who he's going to side with. Whose corner really is he going to be in, if any, at WrestleMania? So the way things have been established, you have to do it this way. You have to. Seth Rollins, like Io Sky, you can't leave him off to the side. He's too important of a player, especially in ring, to just be cast aside for WrestleMania this year. He needs to be a part of this. He may end up coming out of that match as the winner. I would say right now, if you were to ask me who the early favorite is to win that match at WrestleMania, the answer is Seth Rollins. I almost see Roman and Punk canceling each other out, and then coming out of WrestleMania at some point, we get that singles match. So Rollins has to be in there, just like Io has to be in her match. Neither one of these made official yet. I would expect that by next week, as early as next week. At least one of them will probably be made official. Now, also on the show tonight, we have the WWE champion, Cody Rhodes. He was on SmackDown on Friday night. His first promo since John Cena kicked him in the balls, and he got the hell beat out of him in Elimination Chamber. And Travis Scott busted his eardrum. And he cut a promo on Friday night. I thought it was good. I thought it struck the right tone. I kind of described it almost as like a silent rage, when he was out there. And so he comes out tonight. And this is the problem when you have someone who isn't around. And John Cena right now is not around. He's not going to be around until next week. He'll be on Raw next Monday, but he was not there tonight. He's not going to be on SmackDown this Friday. You're basically coming out and cutting promos, and you have nobody to bounce off of. It's the same issue that Kevin Owens had going into WrestleMania a few years ago, where he was cutting all these promos on Stone Cold Steve Austin, but Austin wasn't there. And in fact, I think on the entire road to WrestleMania that year, Austin sent in one video promo, and that was it. Otherwise, it was all Owens, right? Owens had to sell that on his, and it wasn't even a match really, but Owens had to sell that on his own, right? Inviting him to come on the KO show. We had it years ago with John Cena when The Undertaker wasn't around. And he kept challenging The Undertaker every single week, and The Undertaker wouldn't show up. So he said, well, I'm going to go to WrestleMania. I'm going to be a fan of the crowd. And if The Undertaker shows up, then he shows up. When you have that kind of match, it's tough because half the fun is the journey to get there. We got 6 weeks of build yet to go until we get to Las Vegas. That's half the fun right there. So it's tough when you don't have Cena, you don't have Rock. It's just Cody coming out and cutting promos. He came out and cut a very similar promo to the way, or the one that he did on Friday. I thought it was good. Had a lot of fire. Didn't really say anything too terribly different from what he said on Friday. Nothing is really going to happen until we get John Cena on the show. Once we get heel John Cena on TV, everything changes. We don't know what version of heel Cena we're going to get. We don't know. I mean, God forbid he comes out on Raw. And it's one of these heel things where I don't owe you an explanation. He says like 5 words and he leaves. I don't think that's going to happen. But it's tough. When he's not on the show, there's only so much you can do. It's just not going to be interesting until we get him on the show. And he wasn't there tonight. Like I said, the first 90 minutes or so of this show really wasn't that good. But the last half hour or so really made the show. That main event was excellent. So let's talk about this show because this is your Raw on Netflix. Those Mentos people need to call me, man. It was somewhere in the 18 to 20,000 range. If it wasn't 20,000, legit, they weren't. And it really hit me when I was watching this segment. Look, I know that.
And that's it.
Now let's see JD from New York.
Roman Reigns made his return inside the steel cage. CM Punk went one-on-one with Seth Rollins inside the steel cage in the main event. If it wasn't for those 3 men and Paul Heyman, this show was a complete letdown. This show was a complete disappointment. This show was a complete dud. I was very disappointed with Monday Night Raw tonight, man. It was not a good show at all up until the main event. I just feel like they skimped on a lot. I know we have John Cena coming back next week after 2 weeks. After the heel turn heard around the world. Might be 2 weeks too late, honestly. I mean, sure, the 3rd week he'll be back. Fine, we'll pick it up there, but you got Cody Rhodes doing the brunt of the work right now, going into WrestleMania in the 2 weeks since the heel turn. It's not really a good look, man. It's not. Cody cut
a less than enthusiastic promo tonight. More of the same. He cannot continue to do this all on his own. We need to hear from John Cena. We need to hear as to why he did what he did. So we're getting that next week. Jey Uso and Gunther. WWE continues to turn their wheels in this World Championship title program as we head into WrestleMania with little to none in the creativity department. I don't know how many weeks now has it been with Gunther putting the sleeper hold on Jey Uso and then that being the segment. You know, Gunther said he was going to make Jey Uso's life a living hell. I don't know if putting him in a sleeper hold every single week for the last 4 weeks is what I would constitute as putting somebody through hell going into WrestleMania. We're going to need a little bit more than that as far as generating the excitement there. We got a lazy women's match tonight with Raquel Rodriguez and Bayley. I don't know who asked for that, who signed up for that. Crowd could not even be bothered to care. And we got Rhea Ripley and Bianca Belair getting into it after what happened last week. Bianca Belair's got her own problems with Naomi and Jade Cargill. We don't know if that story is going to bleed into this story, but Rhea Ripley confronted Bianca Belair tonight. And Io Sky, the story revolving around Io Sky is that she feels insignificant, even though she is the world heavyweight champion. Bianca and Rhea are making it about themselves and basically forgetting about Io being in the picture. How we get to a triple threat, I don't know, but clearly they're not leaving Rhea Ripley off the WrestleMania card. That is where they are going. And that is all that happened on Monday Night Raw. Honestly, if it wasn't for Punk and Rollins, this show was a complete fucking disaster. 18,000 inside Madison Square Garden. Inexcusable. Inexcusable. The big thing that happened tonight was CM Punk and Seth Rollins inside the steel cage. Whether you are a fan of steel cage matches or not, this was a very good one. If you like story-rich steel cage matches, this one was for you. If you did not like all the blood and the plunder and the complete over-the-top antics and comedy that was last night's steel cage match, then this one was for you. CM Punk and Seth Rollins are two masters of their craft, and they constructed a very good steel cage match without all the added bullshit. The big thing about this match was Punk getting his revenge on what Rollins had done at the Elimination Chamber. Rollins gave Punk a curb stomp, which in turn led to John Cena beating CM Punk at the Elimination Chamber and going to WrestleMania to wrestle Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania 41 in the main event in Las Vegas. CM Punk came out the following Monday and basically put everybody on notice. He put Rollins on notice. He put The Rock on notice. He put Cena on notice, saying that he would see both of them very soon. One thing led to another with Rollins, and we got a big Pier 6 brawl last week on Monday Night Raw. Big pull-apart brawl that Adam Pearce was forced to make a steel cage match at the request of Seth Rollins.
Oh, I'll give you a favor.
And this match took place tonight. And he gave him his blessing. End it. Do what you got to do so we can get back on the road to WrestleMania. It's been brewing for a while now. They wrestled last on January 6th. Then they were in the chamber. And now this. If CM Punk won this match, where exactly is his road to WrestleMania? I want you guys to sit with that logical thought right there. If CM Punk won this match, where exactly was he going to go? What did he think was going to happen going into WrestleMania? He can't wrestle Cody Rhodes. He can't wrestle Gunther unless he wrestled Rollins again. There was no other direction for CM Punk going into WrestleMania. Now, on the flip side, you look at Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins was clearly odds-on favorite here because it would definitely lead to something else happening after this steel cage match in New York City heading into WrestleMania. That's exactly what happened. Seth Rollins beat CM Punk. He operated at a 100 rating. If he was in WWE 2K25, the man kicked out of like 5 GTSs. He was on God mode tonight. Seth Rollins beat CM Punk, but it wasn't as clear-cut and it wasn't as traditional in a steel cage match as you would think. He didn't go over the top with both feet hitting the floor. He didn't escape through the door with both feet hitting the floor. He did not pin or submit CM Punk in the middle of the ring. Roman Reigns made his return, and he was seeking revenge for what Rollins did at the Royal Rumble back on February 1st. The curb stomp heard round the world. It wasn't just a curb stomp, it was a double curb stomp. Not 1 foot, 2 feet. That left Roman Reigns incapacitated. That was after Punk eliminated both Reigns and Rollins at the same time in the Rumble. And then afterward, Logan Paul eliminated CM Punk, and then there was a whole mess on the outside. But Reigns was out, thanks to Rollins. Punk had nothing to do with it. See, Reigns and Punk, there wasn't a dilemma there coming out of the Royal Rumble. There wasn't. It was all Reigns and Rollins. And that's it. No more. Whatever Rollins did to Reigns, that was the issue, and that's all Reigns needed as fuel to come back, and he had his man. He had his target, and that was Seth Rollins. He made Punk his target tonight for a completely different reason. After Reigns took care of Rollins, Rollins had delivered a GTS and a curb stomp to CM Punk, and he just sat there at the entrance of the steel cage door against the ropes. Roman Reigns returns with Paul Heyman. Roman Reigns pulls him out of the ring. Roman Reigns generously gifts Seth Rollins the victory over CM Punk tonight. Rollins is declared the winner. Reigns beats the shit out of Rollins.
Yeah, my bad. I thought he won by DQ. I thought it was DQ. I could have sworn I heard the ring announcer say DQ, that Rollins won by DQ, but I guess I'm hearing things. Yeah, Rollins won because, when we pulled him out of the cage, declaring Rollins the winner. So, yeah, my bad.
Spear on the outside. He was about to deliver a curb stomp to Seth Rollins as a retaliation on the steel steps the night before Adam Pearce got involved. But while all this was happening, Paul Heyman was in the ring with CM Punk, and Punk's head was resting on Paul Heyman's shoulder. He was there to console CM Punk. Roman Reigns was stopped by WWE officials. He looked over at Paul Heyman to see him in the ring, and his mind was fucked. He didn't know what he was watching. He got into the ring. He pulled Punk off of Heyman. He delivered a spear. And he left Punk laying with Paul Heyman, not knowing what had just happened. And Monday night went off the air with the Tribal Chief standing tall after a spear on Seth Rollins and a spear on CM Punk. The rumor was triple threat. Reigns, Punk, Rollins, WrestleMania. That's exactly where we're going after tonight. I don't know how you look at the ending of tonight's show and not see that being the direction for Las Vegas. But the thing is, that little favor that Paul Heyman owes CM Punk, if you weren't paying attention, you might have missed it. That little favor that Paul Heyman owes CM Punk, that favor revealed itself tonight. Did you guys pay attention to what Paul Heyman and CM Punk's bond did to Roman Reigns? It threw him for a loop. It made him angry. It mentally fucked with Roman Reigns. Now, the favorite could be one of two things. We don't know where this match is going to be, what night it's going to take place on, if it will be the main event or not. Obviously, the main event of night 2 is going to be John Cena and Cody Rhodes for the WWE Championship. That is confirmed. That is official. That is night 2. We don't know if WWE has any other alternative plans for night 1 WrestleMania main event. We don't know if The Rock is going to end up wrestling. We have no fucking clue. Probably not, but we don't know. At this point in the game, anything can fucking happen. But I think it's pretty safe to say, if you were a betting man and you said that CM Punk, Roman Reigns, and Seth Rollins could realistically main event night 1 of WrestleMania in Las Vegas, that could realistically become a possibility. Is the favor going to be CM Punk asking Paul Heyman to get him in this match and have it be the main event of WrestleMania? Or is it going to be the main event of WrestleMania? Because I think it's pretty squared away that this is going to become a match. Punk doesn't need a favor to be cashed in to make this a match. Clearly, the match is going to be made for WrestleMania with or without a favor. Is it for the main event spot? Does Paul Heyman even have that type of pull or power? Or could it just be something as simple because Paul Heyman is Roman Reigns' wise man? Is the favor CM Punk asking Paul Heyman to be in his corner at WrestleMania and not Roman Reigns? Because he knows what type of mental advantage it will be for Paul Heyman to be in his corner and not Roman Reigns, the way it has been for the last 4 years, to be in his corner and not Roman Reigns' corner at WrestleMania, giving him that advantage at WrestleMania 41 in Las Vegas. That's the favor. That is the favor. There's no reason to hold the favor off for later this summer. There's no reason to hold the favor off for SummerSlam. That's the favor. It's WrestleMania. CM Punk missed WrestleMania last year. He was out. This is his first WrestleMania back with WWE. Paul Heyman being in his corner could realistically give CM Punk his first WrestleMania win in 11 years. That, to me, is as big of a favor than anything CM Punk could possibly ask for. I love it.
The favor.
The promo work from this point on, the back and forth with Punk and Reigns now, with Paul Heyman involved going into WrestleMania. The story that is going to come out of that is going to be fucking incredible. That's the way Monday Night Raw went up. I think everything that they did tonight in that steel cage match started a little slow, picked up obviously. Crowd got into it. The story was being told with both of those guys in the ring. Reigns comes out, Heyman comes out. Reigns has his eyes on Rollins, but Paul Heyman goes directly for CM Punk, even though we walked out there with Roman Reigns. And that threw Roman Reigns into a frenzy. That mentally fucked his brain up. That's going to be a great story to tell going into WrestleMania. I said I didn't really care for a triple threat match. I didn't. I did not want to see Reigns and Punk in the ring at this time together. But I could absolutely see CM Punk getting his victory over Seth Rollins at WrestleMania while Rollins and Reigns continue their feud going on into the summer months. I think the story coming out of this is going to be great. And without these 4 individuals tonight, Monday Night Raw from Madison Square Garden was a complete fucking letdown. We're going to go over the show tonight. Outside of that, not a good show this evening. And I want to thank you guys for joining me. And we did... And he put Jey Uso to sleep once again. And that was it. Referees and officials quickly ran out there. And Gunther let go of the hold. He did not have possession of his World Heavyweight Championship. He just simply went out there, put him in a sleeper hold, and proved his point once again that Jey Uso is no match for the ring general, Gunther. I don't know how you guys are feeling. I don't know how anybody else is feeling about this Jey Uso and Gunther match. It's going to be a moment. I think we all know that. It's going to be a moment at WrestleMania. The Heat Man's going to be the new World Heavyweight Champion. You know it's coming. You cannot run from it. You cannot hide from it. It's going to happen. The guy's already 0-3 against Gunther. He's not going 0-4. They're setting this up for a WrestleMania moment. But man, I don't know what the creative is here. Typically, WWE, when they set their eyes on something, when they flesh out a vision like this with Jey Uso, all they think of is it's going to be a great moment. It's going to be a fantastic moment. 70,000 people eating as he wins the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. Great. All right, but how the fuck are we getting there? How are we getting there? Jey Uso won the Royal Rumble. He was coerced into choosing Gunther for the World Heavyweight Championship match at WrestleMania because not only has everyone cast doubt on Jey Uso that he can't beat Gunther, Gunther has thrown it in his face and told the Heat Man, you can't beat me. There's no way on this fucking earth to beat me. I own you. Jey Uso wants to prove him and everybody else who doubted him and criticized him winning the Royal Rumble. He wants to prove all those people wrong. That itself is a very good story to tell. It humanizes Jey Uso and makes him relatable to the audience. But the thing is, you can't tell that story for 8 weeks. You can't go out there and have Jey Uso do that one great promo and give us the reason why he's choosing Gunther and then have the same situation play out every single week until we get to WrestleMania. What are we doing? Is there nothing else to be said between these two? Or are we just going to see Gunther put the fucking sleeper hold on Jey Uso for another 5 weeks? I have to call out the bullshit when it happens on this show and the other show. So this is what I'm doing. I'm going to need more.
Yeah, me too.
This is now a 3rd week in a row that we got literally the same thing. I don't mind a Gunther match against Otis. I don't mind a David versus Goliath squash match with Akira Tozawa to prove a point. I don't mind that stuff. But every single time that we see Gunther and Jey Uso in the ring, it ends up with the same thing happening. Gunther, Jey Uso, sleeper hold, and then end of segment. We're going to need something else. We're going to need something else. Don't know what that something else is. I'm not a creative writer. We're going to need something else to really kick this into the next gear. Because right now, we are operating at a snail's pace, man. Jey and Gunther and the creative team are riding in the right lane under the fucking speed limit, doing a 45 in a 65. I'm going to need you to at least go 5 miles over the speed limit. You don't got to be speeding down the fucking highway with the fucking state trooper hiding out in the bushes somewhere, ready to pick you off. But I'm going to need you to fucking pick it up a little bit. Put the foot on the pedal just a little bit. It's fucking boring.
I agree.
It's fucking boring.
Yep, I agree.
Alpha Academy.
Alright. We had Fightful. Wake Blue 15-point lead.
Booking.com has all kinds of things. Because some love Augusta Academy. Others. For you. Here's you've seen them.
Alright. Now, first of all, I do want to see something. I do want to see the beat down here again. Now, I can't show it because I don't want to get copyright strike. This is crazy. Yeah, that's what I'm looking at here. Damn. Alright, I'm about to watch CM Punk get attacked by Roman Reigns here. YTC. OTC. Why does it say YTC? Yeah, I didn't realize that. It doesn't say OTC. It said YTC. What the hell that mean? That mean yeet? Why did it say YCT? That's weird. He changed his shirt. It said YTC. Not sure what the hell that even mean. And that's how the show ended. Bye. Alright, now who else can I watch here? Oh, there's Joe Cronin. Now this is what else happened on the show. And Team Wolf lost it tomorrow night. Excuse me. AEW Revolution, that would be 0 hours. I'm not the pre-show. Major Heat.
Amplified group needs some more.
Yeah, Jay Cardell had backstage heat. Trevor Scott had backstage heat after giving Cody the black eye and an eardrum. One person why did debunk back when Cody Rhodes report. Becky Lynch dropped shocking response to CM Punk. Tony Storm and Myra May, Valiant Hollywood ending. Alright, so now let's talk about the AEW Revolution. A great show with one of the worst endings. Mossy reign sadly continues. The death warrant of destroying AEW television. The return of WWE Evolution.
Whether you want to admit it or not, whether you like them or not,
they said that WWE is bringing back the Women's Evolution pay-per-view. Kendrick Lamar going to AEW. And The Undertaker booked Mickey James. Kendrick Lamar to make an appearance for the company. We have our WWE won several shows on AEW Double or Nothing weekend. And The Undertaker helped kick Mickey James off on LFG and on A&E.
WWE held a groundbreaking event called WWE Evolution, which was the first all-women's pay-per-view held here in the United States. It was not TNA, it was not NWA, it was WWE, and it was their way of ushering in their era, or the new era, of women's professional wrestling here in the United States, as WWE wanted the spotlight on them and them only. A lot of fans have been asking, when are we going to get part 2 to Evolution? Well, if you are one of those fans and have been asking for part 2, your prayers might finally be answered, because we could potentially be getting Evolution part 2 this summer under the Triple H era as its own premium live event. I got the latest on that today, right here on Off the Script. Kendrick Lamar in AEW. I don't know if it's going to happen, but it's been requested. Ray Phoenix, he's on his way to WWE after being released from Guantanamo Bay. I got the latest on when Ray Phoenix is going to show up on Monday night with his brother Penta. WWE strategically has lined up a string of shows, Double or Nothing weekend, to combat AEW and The Undertaker boots Mickey James off of LFG. And now Michelle McCool, his wife, is replacing her. All this in the news right here on Off the Script, and we will start with that. McCool was involved, so she was brought in to replace Mickey James. Not whether you like them.
All right, here's AEW Revolution.
Matt Brody.
Now, this was a very good show, one of the worst main event endings ever, and a bullshit finish. The show was very good. It was a very good show, very long show, went like 4 hours. I think AEW Revolution had 9 matches, and there were 4 matches on the pre-show. Pre-show was like, I think, almost 2 hours. 9 matches. The main event with Jon Moxley defending the AEW World Championship against Adam Copeland, and a bullshit ending with Christian trying to cast in. I think they screwed up with that.
A sweet time too, getting in the ring before the match could even begin. Look at everything that we got on this show up until that point. All the blood, all the guts, all the violence, all the high spots, all the big dramatic spots, everything that we had seen, even in the match that immediately preceded this, with Will Ospreay and Kyle Fletcher, there was nothing that these two men could do when they went out there to top what we had already seen. We were already tapped out. There was nothing that could be done short of doing a main event finish that was creative or clever in some way, or tried to get the AEW World title off of Jon Moxley. And that, to me, that was the number one goal coming into this show tonight. Get that fucking title off of Jon Moxley and put the death knell in this Death Rider storyline. Because as soon as I saw the angle they did on Dynamite on Wednesday night, where Copeland wrestled Wheeler Yuta and had a competitive match with him, no less, and then shook his hand when the match was over, and we saw Wheeler Yuta storm out. Jon Moxley's yelling at him. He says, "Ah, fuck you," and he storms out, right? The writing was on the wall. You have to be blind as a bat, okay, to not see how things were going to end up with Wheeler Yuta on this show. Yet another AEW pay-per-view main event where I have to look at Wheeler fucking Yuta involved in the match. So what does he do? Oh, gee, I wonder. Of course, he hits Copeland, and he's back with John Moxley, although he never left. Now, at least it didn't lead directly into the finish of the fucking match. But that was something that you should have seen coming from a mile away. The bigger question was, how would the Christian Cage contract play into things? And I floated this idea involving Jay White signing his name to the contract and cashing in, but it was an idea. Anything to get that championship off of John Moxley and onto somebody else, whether it was Christian, whether it was Jay White, whether it was Copeland and then Christian, or Copeland and then Jay White, I didn't give a shit. This Death Rider stuff has been awful. It makes for terrible, boring television, uninspired, not interesting, not exciting. It actively drags the entire show down. And it's one thing to do that on the weekly television shows, but on your pay-per-views, which is what AEW was known for, that's their bread and butter. Whatever you want to say about AEW, when business is down and you don't think the shows are great, one thing that you cannot say is that they don't pump out some of the best fucking pay-per-views that you will see all year long. That's been their forte from day one. You can always rely on that. And even on these shows, you're going to see a lot of opinion and comment about Revolution. Oh, it was such a great show until the end. It was such a great show until the main event. And isn't that the story of the Death Rider? I mean, it lies at the feet of Tony Khan, of course, because he booked this fucking show. But isn't that the story of the Death Riders? And we're not talking about a heel faction that's, it's getting a ton of great heat, right? They're doing their job. They want you to hate the Death Riders. Oh, I hate the Death Riders, all right. I hate the Death Riders, all right. Not necessarily in the way I think that they intend. Actively drags the show down. You're going to hear a lot of people saying the same thing. This was a great show until we got to the main event.
Those with Robin Hood Gold can enjoy a 3% IRA match. Tremendous.
John Moxley, in case you couldn't tell, is still the AEW World Heavyweight Champion. Now, I knew this, of course, was a possibility. I was hoping against hope that it wouldn't be, and they would begin to kind of pivot in a different direction as we now begin the march to All In Texas, which is still many months away. But get the title away from Moxley, start a new story with somebody else, and move in that direction. The only saving grace that I could even talk about here, at the very end of the show, we had Swerve Strickland attack John Moxley, and the fans were into it. Swerve Strickland is the #1 contender for the AEW World Heavyweight Championship. Swerve Strickland is going to Dynasty on April 6th. He will challenge John Moxley for that title, and he better fucking win. It would be the second year in a row that Swerve Strickland wins the AEW World title at Dynasty. And if he wins the championship on that show, but that means we have another month of this Death Riders bullshit on television. And I could barely stomach it. I'm watching the main event on this show, by the way, with Adam Copeland and John Moxley. And the thought does occur to me, because it's not anything that I've commented on up until this point. But the thought did occur to me as I'm watching this, and the way they did it, where, first of all, we got to back up here for a second, okay, and talk about exactly what happened. Because Jay White on television on Wednesday said, well, I'm going to be there to back up Hope. I'm going to have his back at Revolution. John Moxley came into the show with a handicap. Most of the members of the Death Riders had already been taken out by Adam Copeland or Willow Nightingale, or actually took out Marina Shafir. So Moxley, in theory, was coming into this match all by himself, save for Yuta when he walked out. We got to see Jay White in this match. Jay White is much better as a heel, by the way, and I'm still hoping that he ends up with one. It didn't happen tonight.
After
what we got
25 years
inadvertently
with the
striking
company,
Copeland in the face with a
Matthew
briefcase,
can
and then he wrestled off
I
to
want
really
to
be the never to be seen again. A complete
I want
waste
to
of
make
an
my
appearance
last
for
match.
Jay White. So that was the last we saw of him. We did get Christian Cage on this show. Christian Cage
I want to go on my
interfered in
turn.
the main event and prevented Adam Copeland from winning the AEW World Championship, I guess because he couldn't stomach the idea of him winning the title before he could. And he cashes in his guaranteed title match that he's been walking around with this contract since fucking August. And he cashes in his world title contract during the main event, making it a triple threat match. Like this is WrestleMania 31. And he cashes it in, and he tries to beat Copeland, can't do it. Moxley flies in, and John Moxley effectively steals the win here. And he beats Christian and not Copeland. And what I was going to say is the thought occurs to me. We haven't seen Adam Copeland do very many jobs in AEW since he came into the company. Now, have we? One of the only ones that I can think of, honestly, is when Moxley choked him out at Grand Slam, which was the build to this match here on this show. That's about it. He never should have beaten Malachi Black last year at Double or Nothing. That's a whole other conversation. But boy, every time we see Adam Copeland out there, all he does is win. Even in this match here, he couldn't take the loss.
These 30-minute matches, I'm so.
Wait until television, and not that I'm terribly interested in any of this, but we'll have to wait until television to find out. So now our next championship match coming up is going to be a Dynasty. We have to wait a month. And with any hope, Swerve Strickland will walk out of Dynasty the AEW World Champion. And then you look ahead, and we could end up with Swerve defending the title in Texas at All In, maybe in the main event against Hangman. Right? Or whoever the guy that I see, maybe getting milk at the convenience store, maybe he's got a bottle of beer and a brown paper like Swerve or MJF. A no-win situation. 20 minutes left in the show, 11:30 at night. We have seen everything that you could possibly want to see on this show.
I don't know. I can put the husband. I keep saying husband. I'm so used to this. I'm sorry. I don't know why I keep saying husband. I'm so used to it.
I think
I remember I raced on about 5 years ago when WWE. You put husband in that fucking segment.
And that's probably all anybody's really thinking about.
And Bobby like, he dominant.
But another pay-per-view where the Death Riders reign supreme. Wake me from this nightmare when it's over. Unbelievable. I don't know what else to say about it. At least we have a clear direction for Dynasty. A lot of people are going to be pulling for Swerve. It's the best thing I can say about it. In the meantime, though, we have another month of this shit. But there was a lot of other great stuff on this show that we're going to be talking about here. I'm going to try to get you through it as quickly as I can, because it is late. But we did have a very bloody, violent payoff, as it should be, between Toni Storm and Mariah May. Not the only match on this show that got blood. Shockingly enough, of all the blood and the bloodbaths that we saw on this show tonight, Jon Moxley did not bleed. Very interesting. We haven't seen him really bleed in a while. Maybe he's got no blood left to give. Maybe he's a vampire. He'll take blood. He won't give blood. This is the Revolution 2025 review. I am the Solomon, so do me a favor, if you're new here, subscribe to the channel. I'm not always this pissy. Subscribe to the channel, like this video, super chat. Hear about this match at 12:50 in the morning. But the people in the building were very excited to see Hologram and Commander. The Rana that you'll ever see, so that was a little scary. We have the TNT champion, Daniel Garcia, teaming up with the Undisputed Kingdom, Adam Cole, yes, on the pre-show, Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly, and Roderick Strong, taking on Shane Taylor Promotions, which was Shane Taylor, Lee Moriarty, Carly Bravo, and Sean Dean. There was a spot where Garcia got a back suplex on Shane Taylor. There were some quick hot tags with the Undisputed Kingdom. Adam Cole.
Alright, so that was AEW. Here are the news and rumors. John Cena would not watch First Choice, as Dave Meltzer said. He said it was a late decision to have Cena turn heel, could walk on Cody. Also, we have some backstage drama with Jay Cargill and why Shayna Baszler wanted to fight her. So those are the two news and rumors here. Hold on. God damn these damn commercials.
People were talking about the John Cena heel turn.
Wait, oh, is that on the watch social media? Hold on a second. Fans are still buzzing about John Cena's heel turn on Cody Rhodes. Now we have reports on who, what, and when, including the why. Originally wanted Cody to go heel. Some debate about Dave Meltzer reporting and Stone Cold Steve Austin's piece on a possible WrestleMania 41. That's the one YouTube channel.
Here is Wayne The Rock Johnson, the final boss.
Hold on a second.
Well, that was a fun night.
Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Now, this was just uploaded 3 hours ago. This is on the Watch YouTube channel. And the heel turn here. So, I'm gonna show it first.
Take a breath. It's all about to form an alliance with the final boss, Travis Scott. Get your hands bloody. Get your hands bloody. Make it count.
Hold on.
No constraints. There are no handcuffs. When you have people as good as Cody. I gotta tell you, I've been part of a lot of really. It's limitless. In that moment, Hudson told me, no. Just waited and I let it all go. I gotta tell you, I've been part of a lot of really cool. And I went. And that moment is what I'll be honest. I don't know if that was
Well, since I already saw the video, I didn't want to show it. But, it was just the Rock YouTube channel on this shocking heel turn on John Cena. Is that really the only one? I think I have 3. Yeah, this is the one. Alright. Here's the other one.
There was a report in this week's Wrestling Observer.
Yeah, so this is the other news and rumors. This is about Jay Cardell. They said that the Wrestling Reserve and Fightful Selects about backstage drama in the WWE Women's Locker Room involving Jay Cardell and Shayna Baszler from months ago that only now leaked out. What Jay said recently that may have opened old wounds and why does it sound like much ado about nothing? why Shannon wanted to fight her.
People were. There was a report in.
Alright. So here is WWE. Here are the other highlights to Monday Night Raw. Those are the highlights. The best thing was this steel cage match with CM Punk and Seth Rollins and the return of Roman Reigns. He went after both of them. I think we are going to get a triple threat match. Whether it's the main event or Paul Heyman going to be in the corner of CM Punk, that could be a favor. That could be interesting. So we had a Backstage 7 with Raquel Rodriguez will soon have 2 titles on her shoulders. So I guess he's going to face Lyra for the IC Women's title. Natalia will leave Maxine Dupree on Reed. We had a very good 7 with Bianca, Rhea, and Io Sky. It's clearly going to be a triple threat match based on what we got here. Liv Morgan says that Raquel and taking down Bayley. She beat Bayley. Man, poor Bayley losing. Bayley doesn't have a match at WrestleMania. What's he doing? She's not doing anything. And the crowd was definitely mad. Kind of boring. Crowd was definitely mad. I don't think people care about Raquel. A mass assailant helped New Day defeat the LWO. Is that Chad Gable or that well, it's not Ray Phoenix, but it could be Chad Gable helping the New Day beat LWO. Chad Gable and the American Mania probably going to feud the LWO. We had Andrew Despises Logan Paul. Backstage 7 with the Judgment Day. Dominic Mysterio helped Finn Balor get a title bout. I assume Finn Balor might go after Braun Breaker's IC title. We had Cody Rhodes segment to John Cena. I'm the captain now. I can't wait till next week. John Cena going to be on TV next week on St. Patrick's Day. Now Cody said, will it miss Monday Night Raw in Madison Square Garden? Is Cody going to be on the show next week? I hope so. If he's not, then what is John Cena going to do? We all can't wait for that John Cena heel turn. What's he going to do? What's he going to say? I can't wait for the crowd to boo him, for him to get massive heat. Hopefully give him like 20 or 30 minutes. And hopefully we see John Cena more than just once. Hopefully on SmackDown. We have an actor from Home Alone. He isn't afraid of Xavier Woods. We had Gunther attack Jey Uso after a win over Grayson Waller. Same thing as the last 2 weeks, but in a sleeper hole, and that's it. We gotta do more and get us hyped up for this title match. The more we keep doing that, the more let the insult happen. This be the main event. I don't know. This is gonna be a main event, or it's gonna be Seth, Roman, and Punk. We had AJ Styles and Andrew make fun of Logan Paul. Are these two gonna have a feud? I assume AJ Styles is the babyface and Logan Paul is the heel, so they might go at it. We had a very good vignette with Penta promising to bring Shiro to Ludwig Kaiser. He talking about his brother? Or he talking about himself? Now this is what opened the show. Jay was so hyped Madison Square Garden with electrifying entrance. Okay. Now this is Monday Night Raw. This is AEW the Revolution. No, that Chris Moore is about NBA. I seen that about NBA.
Really?
Well, I think that's everything. I think I talked on everything. So all right, let's talk about this.
For Roman Reigns' return. Otherwise, what are they waiting for? Right? When else are we going to see him back on the show? There's only one person he should be targeting when he comes back, and it was Seth Rollins. So, of course, we got Roman Reigns on the show. Pulling him out of the cage gives Seth the win. So, that was stupid. I at least thought that would be the reason they did it that way was that it would be the catalyst for CM Punk to come out next week and say, hey, motherfucker, you cost me my match last week. And that would be the way that we get Punk into this whole thing going into WrestleMania. But then Roman just went back into the cage and beat up Punk. So, like, I think Punk already has a pretty good reason to be upset with Roman Reigns, forgetting the fact that, he lost the match. This guy came back into the cage and beat the shit out of him. Although, if we're being honest, Rollins, he had the match won. Like, there was no way. I know they kept kicking out of everything, but, like, Rollins had just hit a super stomp. He was right next to the door. The door was wide open. Like, the match was over. Punk was not winning this match. So, blaming Roman Reigns for his loss, if that's what he was to do, would ring a little hollow to me. If he comes out next week on TV and does that. So, here's what I'm thinking, all right, based on what they did tonight. Roman against Seth. I think that's going to be made official as early as next week for WrestleMania. So the match is going to be Roman Reigns against Seth Rollins. CM Punk is going to end up using his favor from Paul Heyman to get himself added to the match because he hates both of these guys, especially Roman after what happened tonight. He's going to use that favor to get himself inserted, and that's how we end up with a triple threat match of WrestleMania. And keep in mind that if that is the favor and he cashes it in to be part of this, match and turns into a three-way, that doesn't preclude them from some other big twist at WrestleMania. If you think that there's a chance Paul Heyman may turn on Roman and end up with Punk coming out of Mania, I don't think that's going to happen. But they could do that. Just because he uses the favor to get in the match doesn't mean there can't be some big plot twist at the end of all this. So just keep that in mind. No matter what the favor is, there could be more that still happens at WrestleMania. But this is almost a carbon copy of the women's triple threat, where I would really prefer to see Roman Reigns against CM Punk. We're going to get these guys in the ring in a match for the very first time, because the only other time they've been in the ring together as adversaries in any kind of a match was the Royal Rumble. Right? In War Games, they were on the same side. So they were in the Rumble together, but this is going to be the first real match between these two. And I would prefer that first meeting be a singles match. But I look at this as I do the women's match. Adding Io is only going to make that match better on the women's side. Adding Seth Rollins, it's not going to hurt. It's not going to hurt. We've seen Rollins in triple threats before that have gone on to become, fucking legendary matches. So adding him to the match is only going to enhance the match and make it better. Like Io, he can't be the odd man out here. He deserves to be in a prominent spot on the show. And I'm not just talking about the year that he had last year and what he did with he had a bad knee and he went into WrestleMania and, he worked his title match and then he came out at the end of the show on night 2. He was Cody's Shield. And so he really put himself out there for WrestleMania last year, even though he was not 100%. I would take it all the way back to when Cody came back to the company 3 years ago. This man right now, in many ways, is certainly one of the MVPs of this company. Like Drew McIntyre last year was like the MVP, at least on Raw. Seth Rollins is the MVP right now. The work that he's putting in the ring is second to none, right? Another excellent match here tonight. And I'm not always a fan of what he does with some of these goofy promos and when he comes out there and talks about how he's a revolutionary. He's going to come out and like wearing the red coats one of these days. I'm a revolutionary. I'm a visionary. Like, I hate that shit. He's very obnoxious. I'm not a fan of his character, whatever his character is supposed to be. But I can never knock the man's work. Like, he's one of the best in the entire company. But go back 3 years ago when Cody Rhodes came back to this company. What Seth Rollins did for Cody was huge. I still don't think he gets enough credit for it. He set that man up to be in the spot that he's in today. I mean, they gave Cody they rolled out the red carpet for him his first night in. I'm not saying that without Seth he would be, part of the fucking Alpha Academy. He'd be Stardust by now. I'm not saying that, but
her in the ring with fucking someone who is as dull as dick.
And then came Hell in a Cell. And he's got a torn pec. Oh shit. He's going away. He's gonna have surgeries.
About this whatsoever. Hopefully next week we get whatever the fuck Liv Morgan is doing at WrestleMania. Will we see Alexa Bliss? Do we see the Wyatt Six? Is Alexa Bliss going to be with the Wyatt Six? Looked like coming out of the chamber it was going to be Liv Morgan and Alexa Bliss in something going into WrestleMania. What is Liv Morgan's WrestleMania match going to be? Will that start to reveal itself next week? I don't know. All of this is a waste of my time. Kathy Kelly interviewed Chad Gable. Chad Gable's backstage. He played dumb when Kathy Kelly asked him what he was doing out there wearing the lucha mask. He denied he wore the lucha mask. That wasn't me. That wasn't me out there. Kathy Kelly tried to egg him on. Why don't you be upfront and honest with the audience, with the WWE universe? That wasn't me who attacked the LWO. He then called the security in New York City pathetic for not getting to that fan before he could get involved. Kathy tried to argue and go back and forth with Chad Gable.
We're gonna have Cena on the show next week. So the pieces are finally falling in place to get some of these people on television, which we need. Where this absentee bullshit. I mean, it's the road to WrestleMania. We got to get these people on TV. Now, speaking of next week, very important announcement here. Raw is going to be airing live on Netflix next week, much earlier than usual, because they're going to be in Brussels. And so 3 o'clock Eastern time in the afternoon is when Raw is going to be airing live on Netflix. They're going to run that show live. Because on Netflix, you can do that. On USA Network, you can't. But on Netflix, you can do that. My plan right now, my intended plan, is to go live on YouTube at 8 o'clock. And normally Raw would be starting here at 8 p.m. Eastern. I would like to do my review at 8 p.m. So I'll watch the show live. And that way I can have dinner after that and take a shower and get ready. And at 8 o'clock, we're ready to go. There's no reason for me to go live super late. I actually kind of love this. So that's what I think we're going to do next week. So try to watch the show if you can, either when it airs live or sometime before 8 o'clock, because that's probably when I'm going live next week. And if not, then you want to wait, then the review will be there for you when you're done. But I think that's what we're going to do. Now, the week after that, they're in Glasgow. So I think in Scotland. So,
Ahoy there! Can I be of assistance?
Nobody knows. People are just saying some wild and crazy shit out there for social media engagement. That was not Ray. Not Ray. But I enjoyed this 2-segment thing with Chad Gable showing up, Lucha Mask, attacking the New Day, or attacking rather the LWO, helping the New Day, only to run around and get away from security and then put the mask on some poor schmuck to avoid being arrested. Chad Gable is fucking great. Celebrities were shown at ringside. Macaulay Culkin, who has more TV appearances than Roman Reigns this year. William Jackson Harper, Chris Diaz, Josh Segura, and Nardo Wick are in the crowd. I have no idea who any of these people are. No idea at all. Io Sky, Bianca Belair, and Rhea Ripley. Michael Cole conducted an interview with Io Sky in the ring. He wanted her thoughts on winning the WWE Women's World Heavyweight Championship last week against Rhea Ripley in the main event that saw Bianca Belair get involved and basically cost Rhea Ripley her spot at WrestleMania. So she's in the ring. He congratulated her on heading to WrestleMania. Crowd loves Io. She called it a dream to be standing in Madison Square Garden as the champion, and she was over the moon, knowing she was headed to WrestleMania. Bianca Belair comes out. She congratulated Io and said she was excited for them to be headed to Mania. This is our story. Michael Cole asked Bianca Belair if Rhea Ripley would still be champion if she was not sitting at ringside last week. So obviously Michael Cole's going to be pushing some buttons out there. Bianca Belair's a little bit stressed out after what happened with Naomi and Jade Cargill, so he's pushing the right buttons, asking that type of question. Belair said she's had enough drama lately, and she was only out there to watch the match. If Ripley thought she would put her hands on her and get away with it, she didn't know who she was dealing with at all. Rhea Ripley interrupts. Crowd reacts big as her music hits. She's got a microphone. She's tapping the microphone. She did not believe Bianca's explanation at all. She said Belair should have left her to handle her business with Io, while Belair should have handled her business with Naomi and Jade. Belair said Ripley was mad because she knew she couldn't beat Io Sky, which is fact because Rhea Ripley is 0 wins against Io Sky. They got in each other's faces. They were going back and forth with each other, and Io was the middle woman here. Rhea shoved Io, went back to arguing with Bianca. Io got in the middle again. Bianca shoved Io, and Io had enough. She's not playing middle woman. She is the women's world heavyweight champion. She gets up, she shoves Rhea, she slaps Rhea in the face. She gets in Bianca's face, she slaps Bianca in the face. Io's in the middle. Rhea's on one side of the ring leaning against the ropes. Bianca's on the other side of the ring leaning against the ropes. We're headed towards a triple threat match at WrestleMania. I don't know if that was solidified here because Io was pointing at the WrestleMania logo and just jumping up and down frantically, pointing at everybody. I don't know what she said or what she was insinuating, but clearly you see the vision. Clearly you see the direction that they're going. Triple threat is happening. How we get there, I don't know. I don't know. It better make sense. It better make sense. They put the title on Io to give Rhea a reason to chase going into WrestleMania and maybe give her a little bit more of a character development situation going into Mania. Hopefully they know what they're doing. Either way, it's going to be a triple threat match, and either way, it's going to end up being a bang. Next week, Monday Night Raw is in Brussels. 3 p.m. start time. We'll be live after the show is over around 5:30, 6 o'clock. Cody Rhodes and John Cena face-to-face in the same building. That is going to be what the cool kids on social media call cinema. Penta versus Ludwig Kaiser. Jey Uso versus Austin Theory. Dakota Kai versus Ivy Nile. And Braun Breaker versus Finn Balor for the Intercontinental Championship. Sounds like a decent show. Outside of the Rhodes Cena face-to-face and the IC title for the men, I can't really sit here and tell you I'm all that excited about Monday Night Raw next week. Main event. Steel cage match. CM Punk, Seth Rollins, main event of Monday Night Raw inside Madison Square Garden. I was looking forward to this. We just got a steel cage match last night, a very good one with Kyle Fletcher and Will Ospreay over on AEW at Revolution. Lots of blood. Tacks, chairs, Spanish.
City Mitch. Hold on, Mitch. $30. WrestleMania 40 gets rectified at 41.
Different matches. This one was definitely more on the emotional side of things. This one didn't need to resort to over-the-top antics, large amounts of blood, and weaponry in the ring to get a point across. They got.
All right, hold on.
The 19-year-old girl was kidnapped. All of this is still.
God damn it. All right, hold on.
For more than 50 years, nuggets have been combining real fruits and vegetables with clinically studied nutrients.
God damn it with these damn commercials. Right now, I'm trying to finish the highlights on Monday Night Raw. Don't worry, I'll get back to my live stream. I'll get back to my review in just a little bit. Just watching the highlights again. They're saying OTC, but he has a shirt. It says YTC. Yeah, it said YTC. Just wanted to show this again. Roman Reigns is wearing a shirt that said YTC. That doesn't say O. What does that mean, YTC? I don't know what that means. YT, is that supposed to mean Ye? Ye, Tribe Chief? I don't know. What the hell does the Y mean? Now, last time he wore OTC, as in original tribal chief, but that said Y, so what the hell does that mean? What does YTC mean?
Rollins went for a pedigree, Punk counted into a GT.
The end of John Moxley's reign is the AEW.
Move that beat Punk inside the Elimination Chamber as a troll on Punk. Punk reversed that into the Anaconda Vibe.
What is up, everyone? Welcome to Speak Now Pro Wrestling. Happy Monday, March 10th. This is the last Raw at a normal time slot because for the next 3 weeks we are going to be having shows from Europe, which they are stacking up. John Cena's going to be appearing on all these shows, and so it's going to be an interesting time. But guys, I'm G Salcedo, and of course I'm joined by Santi Zach. Santi, good to see you once again, man. How are you feeling coming off of this Madison Square Garden show?
That was an awesome finish to the show. This is one of those Raws that quickly reminded me, yeah, this is the road to WrestleMania. I take these Raws because they tend to just sort of disappear after WrestleMania, where we start to just get more common, normal Monday Night Raws. But I should have seen it coming a mile away that we're this close to Mania. It's Madison Square Garden. Of course, the show was going to be an absolute heater.
I was worried, Santi, I'm not even going to lie, I was worried a little bit because I think had some portions of the show been rearranged a little bit, I think this would have been a hotter episode of Raw. But in the beginning, like the first couple of stuff that we got, I started to think, oh my God, this is literally going to feel like a one-match show. Like the only reason to tune in was for CM Punk and Seth Rollins in that steel cage match. And I was kind of worried. Did you at all feel that way throughout some points of Raw today, considering the expectations that it was an MSG? To me too, because I'm thinking, all right, we're in Madison Square Garden. We're good to see. I was so scared, Santi, that
Chatador. I would have preferred that over the Jey Uso match, if I'm being honest with you. But I think you hit it on the head. I feel like the opener should have been that awesome Theo Scott.
Santi, that I mean, might as well get into it since we're already on the topic. But I was so scared during this because I thought they were going to make Io feel like a third Leo. I'm thinking, oh my God, how are they going to incorporate her into this when it's very, very clear that the story is between Rhea and Bianca, right? Like the start of this, and they're getting into each other's face, they're telling each other off. And there were two really big disrespectful moments, and I thought, oh no. When Rhea shoved Io's face, her whole palm covered her whole face and shoved her. And then Bianca too. Bianca, I think she just like swatted her away. I didn't think it was as nasty as what Rhea did, but still very, very, very disrespectful. And I'm thinking, oh my God, please tell me like this is leading to something, because if this is how they're gonna treat the champion, this is not the way to go.
Then they might not treat her seriously.
This was the first time that Heyman and Punk have been in the ring together since War Games. And the favor is owed. Favor that he promised him back in October for even working the War Games match. Reigns sees this. Heyman's comforting Punk, consoling Punk. Reigns laughed. He entered the ring. He drove Punk into the cage and speared him as he bounced off the cage down to the mat. Heyman backed himself into the corner. Reigns stood tall. Crowd chanted OTC, OTC, as Monday Night Raw goes off the air. An average show with a great main event and a finish that people will be talking about until next week. Like I mentioned in the beginning, the favor is going to be cashed in at WrestleMania. The match is already made. The match is made. Punk is getting Rollins and Reigns at WrestleMania. The one thing that's going to give CM Punk the advantage, it could be he asks Paul Heyman to make this match a triple threat match and let's get it main event WrestleMania. That could be the thing. Get this WrestleMania main event through Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman. Or he doesn't need this to main event because it's going to main event regardless.
Roman Reigns came out there, won the
and he uses that
champion,
favor, that
And now
favor
this
that
is
Heyman promised
Roman
Punk
Reigns versus
was that when he needed him, he will be in his corner.
you
And
took the
that
title
is
off
the
of Braun Breaker
exciting
to give
factor.
it to him.
That
to make this
is the home field
Braun
advantage
Breaker
that
not
Punk
gonna
is
be
going to go for.
What is it? Braun
When
Breaker
I
is
need
not
you,
gonna be
I'm going to call, and you are going to be by my side. Paul Heyman didn't know when that favor was going to come. But there's no better time than now when Punk knows that Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman are together. There's no better time than now when Punk knows that Paul Heyman is Roman Reigns' wise man. Roman Reigns will be without a wise man at WrestleMania. CM Punk will have a wise man that will guide him to victory. And that is going to be what the favor is and how the favor. Paul Heyman being in CM Punk's corner is going to give CM Punk a mental advantage over Roman Reigns because he's got Rollins' number beat. He knows he can beat Rollins. He's done it once before. It's not the issue. Now you're going to add Reigns. Not only does Punk have the advantage over Rollins, because he's got a victory over him already, but now he's going to have the mental advantage over Roman Reigns. So he's going to be walking into that match feeling pretty good about his chances at WrestleMania. And when Roman sees Punk with Heyman, and Heyman is in Punk's corner at WrestleMania, the mental mind games are going to throw Roman Reigns all his game so much at WrestleMania that we could legitimately see Roman Reigns for the first time in a very long time go into WrestleMania. Well, he lost last year. We don't want to make it a common thing, but 2 years in a row, Roman Reigns loses at WrestleMania. Won last year, loses the championship, and this year loses because he doesn't have his wise man. That's the story. It's going to be great. The promo work and the segments that are going to come out of this are going to be fucking fantastic. I don't know if they're going to be on the show next week. I don't know if they're going to be in Belgium. We'll see what happens, but this was a great main event with a great story to close the show. Outside that, the New Day tag team match and Chad Gable stuff was great stuff. Outside that, this was a very dull show. This was a very dull show. Without that main event, this show was a complete disappointment from Madison Square Garden. Thank you guys very much for joining me here on Off the Script. Tonight we're sponsored by my great friends over at Turtle Beach.
Well, Mike will end the video. Until next time, I'll see y'all later. Thank you for watching. Thank you for all the support. Hit that like button, leave a comment. Until next time, this is Jacob Cast 2024. I'll see y'all later.